We're live. Good morning, everyone.
Hi!
How are you all doing? Welcome to another awesome Turnip Starfish drawing class. As usual, I'm up in the corner waving, and Lexy will do her magic and point at me.
I can never remember which way. That way.
No, the other way.
That way.
Right up there. Hello. One day we'll figure out how to live stream me so I can be next to Lexy like that going, hello. There are ways, I've just got to sort it out. Anyway, Lex, how are you? You been well?
I'm good, thank you. Had a lovely weekend, staying indoors, just not going out anywhere and stuff. So, but the positive is I do a little bit more drawing when I'm indoors.
You've been doing loads of drawing. You've put up several images in the last few days on our Instagram of different characters. Who have you put up? Who have you put up so far in the last few days?
I can't remember. I put up Fat Gum from My Hero Academia, and the last one I put up was Miruko, the rabbit hero from My Hero Academia, because she's my favourite. She's so awesome.
Are these all in your massive A1 picture you've drawn, or are these?
Not Miruko. She's like only really just come into it, but the other ones, Fat Gum and stuff, they're on my A1 picture. So maybe next week I'll get the A1 picture out and show everybody how big it actually is.
That'd be cool. Actually, yeah, cool. We can live stream it. So cool. Anyway, we hope you're all okay. We hope all your families are well. We're going to give you another hour of slight madness because that's kind of what we do, I think, isn't it, Lex? We are slightly mad. And
craziness.
Hopefully you enjoy it. You need your paper, you need your pencils and a rubber, I guess. And we're going to do some drawing. While you're getting that together, I can quiz Lexi a bit more because Lexi, you've done another blog as usual. I think it went up on Friday. What was your blog on Friday?
My blog was about what manga to read this week, so just suggestions on things to read. So you've got anime, manga like One Piece and Naruto that even if you've seen the anime, you might want to go back and read the manga because of the story doesn't have filler in it like the anime does, okay? So if you're a true fan, there's things like that you want to go back and read. And also other suggestions like that you could possibly have a look at while you're stuck inside the house.
Cool. I shall check those out and start reading. I've only got a couple of manga in my house, actually. I'll open them up and start looking at them again. What else was I going to say? If you're drawing along with us and you want to share your drawings, then remember you need to hashtag Turnip Starfish, and I am looking over there on another computer at our Instagram. Dan has already said hi on Instagram. Hello, Dan! And I'm also on Twitter, so if you want to say anything on Twitter, I can catch you there. But you can upload your pictures at hashtag Turnip Starfish. We're on Instagram now, we're on Twitter now. And we are saying hello to. Hey, there's already over 20 people watching us on Instagram, on YouTube, and
awesome.
We've got some thumbs up, which is always good. Give us more thumbs up, and remember, if you haven't subscribed onto any of our social media platforms, do it now. That's yeah, cool. We're gonna do some drawing. What are we drawing today, Lex? What are you drawing?
So I'm going to be looking at drawing the face of Natsu Dragneel from Fairy Tail, and I'll tell you close to the time why I chose to draw Natsu.
Okay. Charlie Barnett's already saying hello on Instagram. Hello! And Dan's already saying, My Hero Academia Manga Gang. I'm just going to have a quick look at Twitter. Twitter's quiet at the moment. That's because it's for all the old people. Is that right? Twitter's for old people.
Mainly, yeah.
So I think I'm going to warm us up. And I'm going to do just some basic heads and some basic head measurements, which you guys that come to our drawing classes have done this before, but it kind of gets us going. I'm going to draw generic head shapes, and they're not necessarily manga head shapes, but it's some generic measurements, and then Lexi's going to do the real drawing in a minute. Is that right, Lex?
Well, hopefully.
Oh, and of course we'll have our quiz at the end, because everyone loves the quiz.
Quiz is awesome.
So mad. Okay, let me just pull this up. So, let me just do that.
Oh, I'm back again.
Sorry, Lex. Okay, so I've got my canvas ready. What I'm going to do is some generic heads that we do in our workshop. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to draw like an oval shape, something a bit like this. I'm going to take my time, drawing it lightly, and we've spoken about this. I can't, just like you guys, I can't draw it amazingly well straight away. I've got to search for it. So I'm drawing really lightly, and hopefully in a minute I kind of find roughly the oval I want. That's about right. Are you happy with that oval, Lexy?
Yes.
That was delayed yes then.
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to put in centre lines.
I was distracted by Instagram, sorry.
What are they saying?
Lewis is saying, Dan, give me something to draw. It can't be from anything. Nick using bites the dusto. And then Lewis says, never mind, I take it back.
Fine, whatever. I'm going to put in my drawing in, I'm going to put in a centre line right down the middle. That's going to help me divide up my face. And remember, this is a generic head. So we're all different in the real world, but this helps me do my generic drawing. So on a generic head, we put the eye line about halfway on this head. And again, if you don't put guidelines in, my advice would be get used to putting in those guidelines. We come to the eyes. And how many eyes do we have, Lex? We have three eyes. You're supposed to know the answer to that.
I did say three.
Have you fallen asleep today?
No, not today. I'm okay.
There's obviously so much going on Instagram, you've gone really quiet. So we have three eyes because the distance between the eye should be the same kind of distance as the eye, the same length. So I'm going to put this length in, and then I'm going to have the same, trying to do the same length again, and then the same length again. So I'm going to do something like this. That's just going to help me. Alright, so I'm going to put something in there. So I've got my eye line about halfway. And I'm going to put my nose line about halfway between the eye and the chin. Remember, we're all different. My nose is like a complete continent. But we've got to allow for these generic measurements to help us draw generic kind of heads. So we've got halfway there for the nose, and then halfway between the nose line and the mouth line. Sorry, the nose line and the chin line. I'm going to draw my mouth line in. So I'm just going to draw my mouth line in here and do something like that. So these are all my generic measurements. I'm going to just flatten this shape on the sides slightly. Okay, I'm going to grab my eraser and I'm going to thin that out a bit, something like this. Alright, so that's my generic measurements. With an eyeball now, if I was just drawing generic eyes, if I think about an eye, I'm going to draw it on the side. Have you ever had eyeball soup? Have you ever had eyeball soup, Lex?
No, I don't fancy it after the Indiana Jones, when is it? The Temple of Doom? Where she opens up the soup thing and there's floating eyes in it.
That's awesome. What would be wrong with that? It'd be nice. I wonder what that tastes like. Maybe like jelly gums or something like that. I have no idea.
That's gross.
I've got my eye. Inside I'm doing the coloured area of the iris. And then I'm going to do the pupil, the black bit. Okay? And if I want it startled, it's going to be staring at me like that, going, ah! But on a relaxed eye, generally that eyelid is just clipping the top of the coloured section, the iris, like this, and then it's going to roll something like that on a generic kind of eye. So this isn't a manga eye. They're completely different. They've got to roll onto themselves, manga eyes. And there's there's loads of different ways to draw manga eyes.
Yeah, there's loads and loads of different ways. I think we talked about this last time, where we were saying about My Hero Academia, how many different shapes they have for the eyes. Usually one artist will stick to a particular style, but not an MHA.
They go all over the place. Different eye for every character.
Yeah, pretty much.
So on my actual drawing now, all I'm putting in is the iris, the coloured section, making sure it clips, and then I'm doing just the pupil here. Remember, this is going to be a generic head. It's not going to necessarily be the best drawing of a head I've ever made. It's just going to give me something to work with. Right, when I come to the bottom of the nose, you've got a few options. What we don't tend to do is draw a nose like this. Right? That's a good nose though, wasn't it? The reason being that you don't see the edge of the nose until you turn slightly 3/4. So actually there's different ways to do it. Quite often, like in manga or something like that, or simple cartoon, they might even just do something simple like that. And basically what they're doing is suggesting the bottom plane of the nose. If you were kind of doing more gestural artwork, you might again just do a little smudge or something like that. Another nice way I sometimes think, let me zoom in a bit. I suppose if you're watching on a phone, this is a bit small, isn't it? I might actually put a little bracket, and this might come down from about where the eye was. So I got a little bracket on either side. And I think I got this from you, Lex, actually.
Yeah.
And then I
was going to say, that's how I draw noses.
And then I do a little... What do you explain this bit is? A little curved line.
Yeah, I say like a U shape.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. That works. And make sure it doesn't touch the nostrils. Because you need the thickness there.
Yeah.
And that might be about it. If you're adding any more shape, I might suggest a little bit of the top plane of the nose, and I sometimes might suggest a little bit down on the side, but I don't want to put too many lines in, and even that starts to feel a little bit like a hairy nose, doesn't it? So that's about
Nothing wrong with a hairy nose.
Sorry?
Said there's nothing wrong with a hairy nose.
Sorry about it, I'm getting old. Mouth. On a generic mouth, there are people that talk about it coming out like a triangle. It tells me how wide it is. I'm not going to draw that, but that will give me a kind of width. And for most mouths, most of the time, the most important bit is obviously putting in the opening and actually just suggesting underneath the lower lip. That's one of the most important marks, actually, I've learned over the last few years. Sometimes it's put in with a little soft kind of gradient or something like that, but it's that underneath kind of shape there. And that's going to give me most of my generic shapes. If I want a bit more shape on this now, I'm going to come in a little bit tighter. And quite often jawlines are across from the mouth. So again, if I imagine across from that mouth, then that's where I might change direction. Something like this. And I'm going to change direction. And I'm going to use my rubber. You see how much I use my rubber. I'm always drawing with my rubber. Correct. Okay. And a little bit, he or she is a little bit wide on this side. So something a bit like that. Okay. Right. Ears. Where are the ears, Lex?
They start at the eye line and end at the nose line.
They do. So I'm going to come across from the nose and the eye line, cross from the eye line, cross from the nose line. Obviously we're looking front on. You actually don't see a lot of it. You're just going to see a little bit of shape like attached here. And I'm drawing the bottom of the ear and the top. And I tend to just draw a little bit of a wiggle like that. Wiggle. It's like a backwards S curve, I suppose. An artist would say, yeah. Something like this, and there it is. There's my S curve. So just something like that, really simple. Okay, the neck.
You keep the ears quite simple because if you put too much detail in them, you tend to distract like whoever's looking at it, the viewer, away from the face, like from the facial details. So that's why we keep our ears like with minimal details in it.
Oh, cool. Now the neck, generically, the slighter I make it, probably the more feminine it will look in our culture. So basically that in a way it's a load of rubbish because you can have a male or a female with a slight neck or a thick neck. It depends on actually how strong you are and how big your neck muscle is. Rugby players, even female rugby players to be honest, probably have really strong thick necks because of their muscle there. But just be aware that if we're cartooning, generally if you draw a wider neck, it's going to look more masculine, okay? But like I said, that's a little bit sexist, very generical, but it does come into kind of our cartooning language. Especially if you're drawing probably manga and superheroes particularly tend to be a bit like that. Is this, I haven't decided if we're male or female. We'll put on shorter hair. And I'll put on long hair actually because you're going to do Natsu, aren't you? So first thing is, remember this is our skull line, and one of the first mistakes people do is they put their hair on this skull line. Your hair needs a thickness, so it needs to come thicker than the skull, and your hair thickness depends on your body of hair. Everyone has different thicknesses, and on manga everyone has huge hair, way bigger than this. So I'm going to make sure this just drops larger. I'm going to come out this side. This is like my parting here, I've decided. I'm going to drop out this side and drop down here. So if I've got my parting here, what I'm going to do is just do my fringe, and what I'm going to do is tuck that to the ear and pull it up, just something like that, and I'm going to tuck back to the other ear there. And I'm going to use my eraser, and I'm just going to soften out my skull line. Remember, hair needs to be outside of that skull. Okay, it has to have volume.
Oh, we just had a nice share from Facebook, and Andy Davis has said these are great if you're looking for creative things to do or ways to entertain with. So that's really nice. Thank you, Andy. And Instagram's gone quiet now, so they must be concentrating.
Drawing. Right, I'm almost there with this kind of generic character. I do need to put in some eyebrows because she looks a bit startled. I'm going to just come up here and I'm going to do a little change in direction. If you've got Instagram eyebrows, you've got a couple of loose ends in here. And then up that here. Or is it made in Chelsea? I don't know, but it's something like that. Just something like that. And I'm not going to do a lot more on this, I guess. If I want a bit more detail on the hair, I might split some sections off. So I'm kind of creating clumps, I suppose would be a word. And I guess I might then do something like this. And I'm just going to do a section. These lines should go in the flow of the hair. And I'm not going to do this all the way. It's almost like light is hitting in here, almost.
Mm-hmm.
And then I might do a little bit here, and I'm probably going to, as a generic kind of hair, those are our kind of key measurements and kind of help us kind of work this out. If I wanted it to be more female, again, this is a bit generic and sexist, but again, it tends to be correct in cartooning language. I would add more shape, more information on the lips. It's a bit like putting lipstick on. The more I put on, the more female it's going to generically come.
Do you remember when Nick put lipstick on our very first session?
Yeah, you can do it again. No, we're not doing it again. You can still watch that. It's still on our YouTube channel. If you want to see me putting on lipstick, go and check out our first live stream class. Anyway, who's always bringing up the makeup? There we are. That's my first little drawing. I'm going to bring Lexy back onto screen a sec. I'm going to pull Lexy over. Oh, you're right in front of my drawing. Hello, Lex. Whee. There you are. We got 7 thumbs up. Thank you very much, guys. That's kind of
cool.
That was okay for a generic first head. Remember, our first drawing is never our best. So our first drawing is often about warming up and getting used to doing some drawing and kind of figuring it all out. Right, I think over to you, Lex. Are you ready for this epic?
I am. So let me just swap you round. Hang on.
You've just gone full screen. I think you can see my monitor, can't you?
I can see me. I'm going to share mine. Right. There you go, Nick.
Hey, everyone. Hello.
Cool. So I'm going to minimize you.
Yep.
Oh. Won't let me minimize you for some. Oh, hang on. Let's just click here.
There we are. I disappeared. For some reason, when I drew, you totally disappeared. So.
Okay, so as I said earlier, there's a reason why I'm going to draw Natsu. I love fairy tale. It's one of my favourite animes and mangas. But also, if any of you have seen the latest My Hero Academia episode, there's a character in the audience who is cheering on Endeavour, which is the fire hero. Okay? And Natsu, who is here, he is a fire dragon slayer. And look who is the person cheering on the carrot, cheering on Endeavour. So you can see that he's got like slight lines in his scarf and stuff, and the pink spiky hair. So I think it might have been like a homage kind of thing, or like an Easter egg type thing that they've done in My Hero. So I thought when I was watching it, I was like, oh, that'd be cool. I'll draw Natsu. So that's the reason why.
Cool. Love it. Can you, as a suggestion, make your canvas bigger?
Mm-hmm.
So your photos, the one you're going to draw, because it's actually quite small on that screen. Sorry, I'm bossing you around. Everyone will tell me off on Instagram now. Stop telling Lexy what to do.
Okay.
That's nice.
Cool. Okay, so as usual, we are going to start off with a circle shape. So again, don't worry if it's not a perfect circle. Okay.
Remember, as you're drawing, if you want to hashtag Turnip Starfish on Instagram or Twitter, we can see your drawings as well and comment on them. Sorry, Lex.
Okay. So we're going to split the head in half, and then again, about 2/3 of the way down, we're going to put the eye line. Okay. So that's our basic head. That's where we start. So now we're going to go onto the eyes. So actually what we're going to do is we're just going to draw in a rough eye shape, and then we're going to manipulate them to look more like Natsu's, okay? So just start with nice round shapes. And then we're going to use our eraser or our rubber to rub out some of the marks. So people like Dan on Instagram. I've never seen you draw Natsu, so it'd be good to see if you've actually done it today.
Oh, you've laid down the challenge now. Come on, Dan. Who else is out there? Elsie's with us today. Hey, Elsie, how you doing? Elsie Marks. Lewis is there. Dan's there. Charlie Barner. Hello. Who else we got? Ellen Shan, and we got Artsy Cocoa.
Oh, yeah.
And who else we got? Flossie R202, Evelyn Anwen. We got Izzy the artist. We've got lots of people who've liked stuff. Hopefully they're all watching us.
So I'm going to start angling the eyes now, okay? So he's got quite strong eye shapes. So I'm going to bring this out to the side and then curve it back round to where my circle was. Okay, so I'm just going to rub out bits that I don't need. Even people like Lewis, I haven't seen you draw fairy tale stuff in ages. Might be good exercise for you to draw something in a style that's different to what you're currently drawing. Challenge
laid down.
Because even like I draw things that I haven't drawn for a while, so even though we haven't done it at the moment, I draw a lot of Disney things to just challenge myself to draw in someone else's style. So just take out some of that detail I don't need anymore. Oh, this one's got a bit too angular. Okay, so I'm going to put the pupils in. Because we're only really drawing a head today, I'm going to concentrate on that, obviously. When we draw full figures, we tend to draw really rough, just details in the head so that we can get the full figure down and then come back and concentrate on different areas. Oh. Okay, right. Natsu's nose. So, like Nick was drawing earlier, there's a variety of noses. And on this character, it's a triangle facing downwards. Okay.
Amazing downwards facing triangle.
Right, his mouth is slightly slanted. So we are going to do... So this is where his mouth will start, around this area, where the bottom of the circle and the halfway mark is. So it's going to be... Oh, hang on, let me just see how wide it is. So it's in line with the pupil and on this side as well. So I know that my mouth even, is going to come to about by here and by here. So I'm just going to draw the line like this for now. I'm going to erase some of this information out, and then I'm going to go back and draw in the mouth properly. I'm just going to make it a little bit longer. and his mouth is curving up at the sides. And the thickness of his mouth is deeper on one side than the other. Ooh.
Is he sneering? Is that the right word?
Yeah, that would be a good word to describe it. I made this side a little bit too long. Okay. So I'm not going to put the details of the mouth in just yet. But I'm going to put the chin point in. So roughly same distance from the eyes to the nose, and then the nose again to the chin. Okay, so you're kind of using the same measurement here to find the chin point. And Natsu's head is quite angular, so I'm just going to softly take out some of these lines so you can see what I'm doing. His side of the head comes down to roughly by his nose. So by here. And then it curves round his mouth into that point. It starts to curve. Might put that one up a bit high. Any interaction on social media today, or they concentrate on that?
They've fallen asleep. Lewis is saying he doesn't actually usually reference manga or anime, which is interesting. If I ever become a manga artist, it'll be different because, or I'll be different because I'll influence from other mediums. To be fair, Lewis, yeah, you're probably right. You draw a lot from a lot of different art sources, and I think that's a real strength to your artwork as well. You're always looking and learning from different kinds of artists, and I think that's a great thing to do. You shouldn't draw in one style all the time, especially for someone that's looking to do it for a job. You've got to be as diverse as you can. It's going to be a strength. Well, saying that, there's two kinds of artists, isn't it, Lex? There's what I would call a jobbing illustrator, which draws as many different styles and is often asked to draw in different styles, so they want to be as diverse as they can. And I guess there's the very famous, I don't know, Quentin Blakes and things that draw just their way. They're the one that make it. They will only ever draw their way, and if you're the one that makes it, you're going to make a lot of money out of it. But it's like that's like any platform, isn't it? It's like that's even like YouTube or anything else. There are those one out of every 50,000 that make it. But there are lots of other people that work in our industry drawing, and they need to probably be able to draw lots of different ways.
Yeah. It's like the creator of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He spent a lot of time looking at the statues in Italy, you know, like the statue of David and stuff, like all the muscular Renaissance kind of pieces. So that like explains like the muscle mass of them. Like he does loads of studies of those.
Oh, cool. It's the same as us. Although we draw cartoon characters, we also spend quite a lot of time drawing real people to kind of hone our drawing skills.
Okay, so I'm just gonna zoom in just to do some of the teeth. So, I might have to change my brush.
Do you want me to tell you an awesome little shortcut for that?
What?
If you do square brackets, two square bracket keys make your if you've got an eraser or a brush, they go bigger or smaller.
Oh, cool.
That's how I magically do it. The square brackets. Isn't that exciting, everyone?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Natsu, because he's a dragon slayer, has spiky teeth.
Is that actually the
So-
top?
He's not. He doesn't actually slay dragons.
Oh.
He was brought up by a dragon.
Oh, I hope he doesn't slay them then. He was brought up by one. That would be a bit weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's a bit confusing. Possibly a better name would have. Yeah, there's a sorry. There should have been a different name for it, I think, but here we go. Okay. So I'm going to zoom back out. And we're just going to put on Natsu's ears. So again, they're bigger at the top, and smaller when they go down. And we're not going to draw too much information in them because we don't want it to distract from his face.
I was going to see if anyone's posted any images on hashtag Turnip Starfish on Instagram. I'm not sure anyone has today. They're very quietly drawing away. I've got pictures from the other day. Got nice pictures from the other day. Oh, hang on. Sorry. Most recent. We got a nice picture from Dan 6 days ago. That's kind of cool. Yeah, this is Froppy. He did Froppy from the drawings we did.
So I'm just going to put his hairline, which is just below the top of our head. Okay, so that's where his hairline starts, on his forehead. And then, like I did the other week, I'm just going to put our crash helmet on. Okay, so this is roughly how big the volume is of Natsu's hair. Okay, so that's roughly how big it is, and I'm just going to rub out this slightly. That's magical, that square brackets thing.
Is that like a whole new world? A whole new world! How's my singing, everyone? I hope it's good. I hope you appreciated that little bit of singing there. Now you're like magical. People will wonder how you're magically making your brushes go bigger and smaller.
I know, it's crazy. That's it. I'm just going to sit here and change my brush shape or my brush size for the next 20 minutes.
That would be an amazing tutorial.
Here's the small brush, here's the big brush. Okay, so as usual, I start in the centre because that's a good place to start.
It's a good place as any.
Yeah, and that just kind of helps us because if we do the centre part, then we can go out to either side. You can start working on the left side or the right side, whichever feels more natural for you.
So you're drawing in the clumps, aren't you? You're drawing each kind of clump.
Yeah. So then I've got this part which comes down here over his eyes. You can see his eye through the hair.
Awesome.
That's like a thing that manga artists can decide if they want to, whether you can see their eyes through hair. It's a style thing.
Oh, right, yes. We've had a nice image from the Sherwood family on Twitter. Awesome, guys. Nice to know you're drawing with us again today. I hope you're all well.
The Sherwood family joined us on Wednesday as well, didn't they, for our Pokemon drawing one?
Yeah. on Wednesdays we do a Pokemon drawing class. It was really fun. And you can join us on Wednesdays, same time, 11 till 12. You do have to pay a small fee of £4, and you do that on our website. Some people have already booked up, and some people have booked up for the next 4 weeks on Wednesdays. And basically, we send you a private link. You can only join that one if you've paid the money, I'm afraid. But it's only £4. It's like 2 cups of coffee, and we're not drinking coffee anymore, so you might as well draw with us instead. And you can watch. Who did I draw? I drew a really cool one. Heat something wave. Can't even remember the name now.
I can't remember.
I learned lots about Leafymon.
Leafeon.
See, I learned so much. I remembered the name badly.
Yeah, you did like a fire type armadillo thing, didn't you?
It was cool.
I can't remember what it's called.
And then those are on our. Those that paid have got the link, and they can watch that any time on the YouTube channel. But you can only watch it if you've got the link. So again, we're going to be around on Wednesday. Like I said, it's only £4, and we're going to pick some more Pokemon. Join us every Wednesday. It's kind of fun. So yeah, I'm learning Pokemon. I'm going to be an expert at Pokemon by the time this is all over. Is that correct?
Yes, hopefully. Something went weird with my layers then.
Did it explode?
Almost.
So what are we doing at the moment? Just doing the clumps, are we? The triangles?
Yeah, we are working on Natsu's hair as we go along. So it takes quite a while to do like the different hair shapes and stuff. But again, don't worry about it too much. You know, if you're doing it and you think you're getting it wrong, don't like panic or anything. You know, use your rubber. Just take your time, and it doesn't have to look exactly like the character. This is about you guys learning the dreaded L word. Lots of you are like, we're not meant to be learning, we're on holiday. You're not on holiday.
Hey, we are now. It's currently Easter holiday. Happy Easter holiday, everyone.
That's crazy. I forgot it was Easter.
I know.
I think the only reason I know it's Monday is because we do these.
Yeah, I know you can really lose kind of the time, can't you?
Mhm.
All the days merge in a little bit.
So, because these clumps are getting quite big, I'm going to pause on that side. And I'm just going to go back to the centre, okay, to the top. And I know that there's a giant clump of hair here. And it's going to go over to there. Alright. Just because I was starting to think that section might be a bit too wide. So I just want to focus back to a place to start, and then I'll carry on with the hair going across.
Yeah.
It's a little tough by there.
I think my hair looked like that this morning when I woke up.
My hair just looks like a cloud in the morning. Or like candy floss. That's a better way to describe it.
Yeah, it's actually, I mean, I don't see that, but I have seen you sometimes come in when you've not done like your hair back. So most people that know Lexi know that she has it back in a kind of tied back. So it looks actually almost straight, doesn't it? Your hair looks like it's straight, tied back into a ponytail. But actually you've got really kind of frizzy curly hair, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite interesting when your hair isn't back like that, because it's suddenly like it's a whole different look. It's like, ta-da! It's my other look. Obviously, I try that every day. I'm always going for a new look with my hair, but for some people, for some reason, people just seem to think I look exactly the same. But I spend a lot of time on my hair.
You do. Sometimes I come into the office and you're just not ready because, you know, you're still doing your hair.
Yeah. It takes a long time to make these little white patches on the side of my head. Look as pretty as they are.
Okay, so back over to this side now. Got a little tuft by there. Oh, that line was wrong. Put the tuft in first. Then the line could come across. So again, well, we hope we're not going too fast for you, but we are limited for time. But yeah, so if you're watching on YouTube, you can always go, like, press pause after the live stream's finished and go back and go through it, because we love seeing your pictures afterwards as well. So, like, after the Pokemon one, we put some of the images up on our story on Instagram, just so you know.
They looked cool, didn't they? In fact, talking of Wednesday's cast, PhilML16 just appeared on Instagram and said it was called a Heatmore. I think they were there. They were with us on Wednesday as well, weren't they? So, hello.
Okay, I've almost finished the hair. Yay! And the final piece.
So Lewis has hashtagged an image to us. Sorry, Lex. That's a beautiful
That's
image, Lewis. So he's on Instagram. He's put an image up and he's put hashtag Turnip Starfish. I can see it. That's looking very nice.
So I'm just going to rub out some of these lines while some of you just catch up a bit.
That's awesome, Lex. That looks like Natsu. How'd you do that?
Magic.
It'll be the square brackets. I take all the credit.
Yeah. It's all to do with the square brackets. I'm just putting a couple of details in. So I'm just going to put his neck in. Okay, so this comes just slightly longer than his chin. Now it's up to you. You can leave your image like this. Oh, hang on. I'm just going to do something. So on his eyes, I'm just taking out the inside details where the eyes meet up, and just by here, because that's the kind of way that Hiro Mishima draws his eyes. Right, so yeah, what I was going to say is it's up to you, but if you want to, you can draw in Natsu's scarf. I'm not going to go into too much details with it. Well, it's up to you if you want to. So the picture's on the side by here if you want to add in his scarf. So I'm just curling the scarf around his neck and around the side to here. And then thickness. It's made by these like lumps. So basically, Natsu's scarf is made up of his dragon's scales. So his dragon, it was called, oh my gosh, my mind is blank. Igneal. That's it.
Igneal.
His dragon, his dragon dad was called Igneal, and he made him a scarf of his scales, so that it's like fireproof and stuff.
Oh, cool. Is that in case he gets cold?
Natsu doesn't get cold because he's a fire wizard.
That was kind of my joke. He's on fire half the time, and he's wearing a scarf. He's like, what's going on there?
So then the bottom layer of the scarf kind of starts to overlap. Again, you don't have to draw this in if you don't want to. It's just, I think that sometimes adding in the scarf adds to his character.
Yeah, it's noticeably part of who he is, isn't it? I think.
Mm-hmm. Which is why I found that picture from My Hero Academia quite interesting, because the kid clearly has pink hair and a scarf, which has like lines sectioned on it. So if anyone else has got, like, if anyone else thinks that it was like a homage to fairy tale, I'd be interested in your comments. Might just be me imagining things.
No, I did. It looked just like him.
In like the style of the artist of My Hero Academia. So just adding some creases in. So they're curved because straight lines make things look flat. So we've said this a couple of times now. Curving lines is always better, makes things look a lot more 3D. And just one more plate. Last bit.
We've got lots of thumbs up next, so thank you everyone for that.
Cool.
We've still got lots of people watching us online, so awesome. Thank you for joining us, everyone.
If it wasn't for your thumbs up and your encouragement, we wouldn't be running them right now. No. It's nice to have support. And hear from some friendly faces that we haven't been able to see for a while.
Yeah.
It's quite strange because it feels like Lewis and Dan know each other, yet they've never met.
Have they never been in the same workshop at the same time?
No.
Oh, that's really weird. They're like besties now.
Well, rivals anyway.
Only in the quiz. Who will win the quiz today? Oh, we haven't heard from Cornelius today.
No.
So it looks like others can try and win the throne of the quiz because Cornelius isn't here. It's just Dan and Lewis. Can anyone stop Dan and Lewis?
Who else? Cosplay Girl, isn't it, or something? She's usually joining in with us, and she's not here.
Charlie's here though. Hello, Charlie. We got all the best people. Definitely.
So I think that's my drawing done.
Awesome. I'm going to give you a round of applause. That looks really cool.
Just leave it up on the screen for a little bit just so people can see.
You can Instagram that one later, maybe. It's a nice drawing.
Cool.
Right, what's next then? We've done some drawing. Time is ripping along. Look, we've only got like 10 minutes left, really. There's still lots of people with us, which is really fab. So I guess we'll try a quiz, which one that's probably not too long, because I think there's only a few people out there.
That's fine.
If you want to join in on the quiz, you can quiz along on. If you want to guess, you can either do it at home and score at home, or you can go on Instagram and there's a picture that says "We need you" and it says "Live on Monday at 11 a.m." It's the last image that went up, and you can comment there. Or you can comment on Twitter. There's an Instagram that went up. There's an image that went up on Twitter. I remember just to hashtag Turnip Starfish. And remember, if you've just drawn, we would love to see the drawings. I am looking at the hashtags as well.
I'm just going to make you big, Nick, for a second.
You're going to make me big or make me big?
Big. Just because one of my tabs is gone.
Okay. Hello, I'm here. This is my world.
Oh, no, it hasn't gone. I found it again.
Oh, there we are. I'm back again.
Right, hang on. Let me swap you. Oh, you never went in the first place. Right, bye.
We are seamless, aren't we, in our production sometimes?
Okay. So this is the start. Can you see this?
Right, this is quite clearly Attack on Titan.
No.
No. It is Demon Slayer.
No.
It's Pokemon.
I'll go to the next image.
Ah! I know that hair looks like JoJo's.
It does look like JoJo's.
But it's not JoJo's.
But it's not JoJo's.
Oh, what? That's not fair when you do that. You kind of do that and then you throw it out. Right, people should be guessing if they're playing. Dan, you playing? Lewis, you playing? You've gone very quiet for a moment. I can see it on the screen. Remember, there's always a lag. It's always a bit weird.
Yeah. Someone will wake up.
It's obviously too hard for them. Does the next image give it all away?
Yes. I'm going to go to the next image.
Yeah, I would.
It's a Kamika kill, of course.
Ah, of course it is.
It's quite cool. Right, next one.
Well, he's from Frozen, isn't he?
No, it's not quite Olaf. Did anyone get the last one on Instagram?
Dan said he had no clue. There we are.
That's disappointing.
It is. Our quiz has got too hard suddenly. We need some of those, like the full-on manga people that normally at our class. It's like, you need to come.
Right.
What's the next one?
For the last one,
It's Fairy Tale.
for this one, most people say fairy tale, but it's not fairy tale.
No, Fairy Tale Zero or something.
No, not fairy tale zero.
Zero Fairy Tales.
This is from Rave Master.
Ah, cool.
So, the creator of Fairy Tale, Hiro Mishima, this is the manga he created before he created Fairy Tale.
It's from the 90s.
So, yeah.
Definitely. Lewis was the first to say Rave Master. Well done, Lewis.
So, a couple more might know this one. We go to the next picture.
The card. It's a giveaway, isn't it? I'm trying to think what it is.
I'm going to go in with the answer.
I'm nowhere. Oh, hang on. Let me have a little look. No Game, No Life.
Yes, well done.
That was Dan. Well done, Dan. That's a point to Lewis, point to Dan. Sai on Twitter said he's going to look at this later and catch up.
Cool. So this is a race. Dan is definitely going to know what this is, but Lewis might beat him.
It's JoJo's.
No.
No, it's a guy in the bottom right hand corner with funny hair.
There's only one season of JoJo's where the guy has funny hair.
Oh, okay.
Has Dan got it yet?
Danganronpa.
Yep, well done.
Dan was there. 2 points to Dan.
Oh, hang on, I'm going to skip this one because I can never remember what it is.
You've done a quiz and you can't even remember the answer. That's the best quiz ever. This is... Oops. Free.
No.
What's the swimming one? Is that free?
Yes. It's not free, not quite.
It's Blue Exorcist.
Nope, I'm going to go to the next one. Okay. Gintama.
Gintama.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry, Gintama.
Sorry, Dan was there and Lewis was there, but Dan actually beat Lewis. Gintama.
Oh. Who's angry eyebrow? It's Nick when he's annoyed at me.
Well, all the time. This is Ghost in the Shell.
No.
It looks like the big guy from Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, but the big guy for Ghost of the Shell doesn't have any eyes.
Oh, right. Is he not?
He's got like monocle things, doesn't he?
Nice picture of Natsu from the Sherwood family there. Very, very nice. I'm guessing Ellie has been drawing. That's an awesome image.
So most of you would have got it by now. It's Attack on Titan.
Oh, what? How did I not get that? Attack on Titan, Attack on Titan. So, Dan was there. Then he shouted it a second time at me. And then Lewis was there, Attack on Titan. Blue Exorcist.
Okay. No, just because things are blue doesn't mean it's Blue
Fairy
Exorcist.
tale. It's like a butterfly thing.
No. Everyone gets stumped on this one.
Oh, that's good. It's going to be helpful.
I'll go to the next picture. That might help. A letter.
Karasami Kiss or something like that it's called.
Well done, Nick.
Was that
Kami-sama
right?
kiss.
Kamisama
Well done.
Kiss. Oh, look at that. Look how good I'm getting. I've obviously seen that one. It was an epic one.
I love it. It's really cute.
Is it?
Mhm.
It's not Iron Man.
It's not Iron Man. You're correct.
Well, I think I know what it is actually.
I think our audience will probably know what it is.
They've gone quiet at the moment.
I go to the next picture.
One Punch Man by Dan. I think it's One Punch
Yes.
Man as well. Yeah, well done, Dan.
It's Genos from One Punch Man.
Is he a goodie or a baddie then? Does he fight with One Punch Man?
He's a goodie. He just wants to become like One Punch Man. He wants to train as much as he can to become like him, but he's a cyborg.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, he's good. He's awesome, but he just doesn't think he's as good as Saitama.
Oh, okay. Oh,
What's this one?
it's free.
Well done. The swimming anime.
The swimming.
Okay. Oh, we're back to the start. So that's it. That's the end of the quiz. Everybody.
Well, thank you very much then. Thank you for that, Lex. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's been awesome
I'm
to have you here.
So I switch. Stop shit.
And I'm going to make Lexy appear. Lexy is now full screen. Hello, Lexy.
Hi.
Let me do that. You can see what we're doing. This is we say goodbye. So, thank you everyone for joining us again. It's been awesome to have you here. It's nice to see that you kind of every week you're kind of joining along with us and drawing. Some of you have been hashtagging your drawings. That's great. It just gives us a chance to see it. And if you would like one-to-one feedback for your drawings, you can book a Skype drawing tutorial with Lexy or me. And when you book your time slot, we'll tell you how it kind of works. But basically, then we can Skype you and we can look at your drawings and we can actually teach you one-to-one, which we're not obviously doing right now. Apart from that, Lex, thanks for that this morning.
No worries. Had lots of fun.
I think obviously my head drawing was just beyond this world.
I hope people had fun drawing something other than My Hero Academia. Who was it? Morris asked last week, wasn't it, for a JoJo? So I'll look at that for next Monday.
Okay, cool. And remember, we do these every Monday. Tell everyone in the world, Mondays, we're there for free. If you want to join us on Wednesday, we're here at 11. You've got to pay a small fee on our website, but you can draw Pokemon along with us. And for any of those adult drawers on our sister channel, we've got some drawing for adult drawers as well. Apart from that, take care everyone else. And everyone else? Take care everyone. Take care everyone. We'll see you all soon and stay safe. Okay? Ta-ta, bye.
Bye.
Bye.